Enjoying the sounds of everyday life is a luxury many take for granted. For some, however, the world of sound is only a memory, and for others, a complete unknown. Electing for cochlear implantation may restore the ability to verbally communicate and to enjoy the world of sound for these individuals. Several cochlear implant systems are available in the United States. Selection of an implant system may seem difficult at first, as the technology has developed very quickly over the past several years. The Med-Al cochlear implant system combines the newest technology in speech processing strategies with the smallest, highly reliable implant and the most flexible and advanced technology ear-level speech processor. The purpose of this video is to provide you with more information about cochlear implantation and the Med-Al system in particular. A cochlear implant is an aid for deaf children or adults who do not benefit from conventional hearing aids. The device transforms sounds into electrical signals, which stimulate the nerve fibers of the inner ear. This way, speech and sounds can be heard again. To understand the function of a cochlear implant, we will follow the path by any sound under normal conditions. Sound waves travel through the ear canal. And reach the cochlea via the middle ear. In the cochlea, the sound wave is transformed into electrical pulses, which travel down the nerves to the brain. Then the sound is processed. The sound is transmitted at a high speed. The cochlea plays an important role in the hearing process. The cochlea consists of 3 little channels filled with fluid. The incoming sound wave travels through the fluid and stimulates thousands of hairs on the top of the hair cells. The hair cells convert the mechanical energy into electrical impulses, which stimulate the nerve fibers. They form the acoustic nerve, which sends the message to the brain. The low sounds stimulate the top of the cochlea, and the high sounds stimulate the base. When the hair cells are partially absent or damaged, hearing is impaired. This condition can be helped with conventional hearing aids. When the hair cells are completely absent or damaged, a severe to profound hearing loss occurs. Usually the nerve fibers are intact, but they cannot receive electrical impulses. In this case, a cochlear implant can help. The surgeon inserts the electrode into the cochlea as deeply as possible. He places the implant under the skin behind the ear. The external transmitter fits exactly over the internal implant. The sound is transmitted through the skin. The microphone picks up the sound and sends it to a small computer, the speech processor. The speech processor transforms the incoming sound and sends it through the intact skin to the electrode array. Speech and sounds are transmitted to the hearing nerve artificially. An intensive rehabilitation process is needed to learn to hear speech and sounds again.
I guess I knew early on I would eventually lose my hearing at some point, but I knew early on too that cochlear implant was a leading edge of technology coming out, and I would be a candidate for that. Of course, at that point in time, there were one channel, because that was like 20 years ago. But I always kept that in my mind. And I remember working, and we had a new employee, and she was very perceptive, obviously, because she looked at me one day and said, "Linda, did you ever think about having a cochlear implant? Look at Esther, she's so happy." And it just hit me in the face. I thought, It was so obvious, and I am so unhappy, and I'm struggling so hard to hear and function. I've got to do something about this. That was a turning point right then and there. I made up my mind, and I was going to do it, and I did. The issues that I was concerned about, just really, from my perspective, were really minor going into surgery, because this is something that I knew it was perfected, it had been done. I met too many people that had it. I didn't have that many concerns going in. I think my decision on which company to go with was just based upon, my investigation of feeling comfortable with the history and the background of the company and their focus, which was research and development, so I liked that. And I felt that the design, the speed, the arrange of the electrodes, and the insertion into the cochlea would best fit what I needed. And that was just surely from a layman's perspective. So I guess my reaction when I was hooked up was kind of like a relief, because I had prepared myself knowing this was going to be different. And the fact that I could understand and I could hear, and I knew right then, I can live with this sound, this is going to work. All of a sudden, my world of hearing was so much more encompassing than it had been with my hearing aid. I could hear the dryer. That dryer makes noise when I'm in the living room. I mean, there were things that I was totally unaware of before, and I was starting to hear. And I remember too, this is the first time in 20 years, I can hear my cat purr. And that was just really neat. Just sounds that, your world just kind of opens up to you. And for me personally, I felt like I'm back in the world. I'm more a part and more aware of what's going on. For years, I hadn't been able to hear on the phone. I'd have to go through a relay service. And of course, when you're in a professional environment, that was very difficult. And after I had the cochlear implant, I could hear on the phone. And that was just amazing. At first, I was hearing with the amplified handset that I had. And as time progressed, I can pick up any phone now, a cellular phone or wherever, and carry on a conversation and hear 99% of what's going on